Thank you for being here today to honor survivors and remember the victims of domestic violence. I'm Whitney Woods, the Executive Director of the Rose Andom Center. Every day, we open our doors to help bring hope back to the lives of thousands by connecting them with the resources and the support that they need. We are so grateful to have our incredible partners stand with us here today and do this work with us. This morning, you will hear from Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston, District Attorney John Walsh, Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas, Project Safeguard Executive Director Jody, Denver Children's Advocacy Center Director of Rapid Response Hollie Reinhart. Each of them brings an important perspective to the collective effort it takes to address domestic violence and support the survivors in our community. But first, I'm honored to welcome MILCK, who will share her personal story with us.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi. For those of you who don't know me, my given name is Connie Lim. My artist name is MILCK, yes, like the drink. I am very moved today to be here. I'm going to share a song with you that was from my own story of survival. And actually, when this song went viral in 2017, that was quite a long time ago. I feel like we were different people then. I didn't quite understand what I was surviving, but I knew it was something. And eventually, the song went viral. I met a bunch of nonprofit organizations, such as yourselves, like the Rose Andom Center, and I learned that I'm a domestic violence survivor. So as I stand here with you all, I flew in here from Los Angeles yesterday, very much looking forward and being with community to honor the 14-year-old self in me, and the 24-year-old self in me, the 30-year-old self in me, who carried a lot of pain and a lot of self-blame. I thought it was my fault. I didn't have the education, my family didn't have the education to understand how to care for me. And the bells are tolling in affirmation of this message. I was thinking about the word domestic violence, and I was like, man, we can't be fooled by the word domestic, right? Because this is a very, very global issue. Domestic violence feels like the canary in the coal mine that is shouting for us to notice that there's a connection between the oppressions that happen internally within our homes and the oppressions that are happening externally. And so as I sing for you all today, I keep the people who are here in this town, in my hometown, all over the world, unfortunately, of all genders, because domestic violence is not just a woman issue. I hold them in my heart. I am holding in my heart the people who are in war-torn regions. The amount of domestic violence that is happening is unfathomable to me and my one human mind. But what a blessing to have organizations like the Rose Andom Center that is bringing together a collection of nonprofits to come together and work as one unit under one building. As a survivor, if I was able to come to one center and get assistance from not only therapists, but also law enforcement, legal advice, that would have been life-changing for me. I didn't have that when I was 14 years old, so I carried with myself boulders and boulders of self-blame that ended up becoming tools that I used against myself to keep myself from opportunities. I grieve the years and years of self-sabotage or self-limitations because I believed I was bad, that I attracted bad things. But I'm so grateful for the therapist that told me, it's not your fault. It wasn't your fault. And I'm like, well, what if I share the story with you like this? Is it my fault? No, still not your fault. Like, I was still trying to convince myself it was. But when the message finally came through, I was able to, you know that lump in your throat sometimes when you're like wanting to say something, maybe even for years, and then all of a sudden it just dissipates? The way that the lump in my throat was able to dissipate was through writing this song. And I worked on versions of this song for years and years and years and years. Something happens with this song that's pretty breathtaking, so I'll share with you in a little bit. But for now, let's start singing. Put on your face, know your place, shut up and smile, don't spread your legs. Oh, I could do that, but no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't say something, take that dry blue pill. They may see a monster, they may run away, but I have to do this. I can't keep quiet, no, I can't keep quiet, no, a one woman riot, no, I can't keep quiet. So I shared this song on the streets of DC in 2017. There's a little uprising called the Women's March. Regardless of politics, this song was about writing a love letter to that survivor within me. And someone filmed it, and it went bananas viral. And during that time, going viral was a different thing. So it changed my life. I released the sheet music for free online, and choirs all over the world started singing the song. So I saw in all these different languages, and from all these different countries, different people saying also that they couldn't keep quiet either. So the gift was that I learned, oh, I'm not alone. And that gift also comes with a bit of pain, right? Because that means people understand. So my manifestation, my hope is that this song becomes very, very unrelatable in the future, where people just like won't even get it. They're like, what? Did we keep quiet? 'Cause no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't say something, if I just lie still, they may see a monster, they may run away, but I have to do this. I can't keep quiet. No, no, no. I so much.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome Attorney General Phil Weiser.
Thank you, Whitney. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Rose Andom, for your leadership and vigilance. And the remarks we heard have rung through this day and through this month. It is not your fault. It is not your fault when you are subject to abuse, when someone breaks the law, and we need to lift up survivors. We need to stand strong together, recognizing the lives that are shattered by domestic violence. This walk and the unwavering support of survivors is an important way to begin Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The leaders who are here, victim advocates, members of law enforcement, and survivors, are how we go forward, how we honor those whose lives have been lost, and if perhaps we can take a moment of silence just to honor all the women, all the mothers, all the community members, daughters, sisters, children, first responders who lose their lives each year to domestic violence. In my religious tradition, we say when someone is lost, may their memory live on as a blessing. And one of the blessings that we can together work for is to have the lives of those who are lost fuel our determination, our commitment to make the necessary changes to save lives, to make sure that we create a safer and more compassionate world. Every year, our office has the painful and important work of compiling a domestic violence fatality review board report. Shaylin Kettering, my counsel, works tirelessly with our board members and does the hard work of asking the critical question, what can we learn? So that no one's tragic ending is a life ended in vain, but each is a call to action. We look for any sort of patterns, any sort of strategies, and each year we continue to work to improve. One of the areas that we must remain vigilant on is how do we remove firearms from the hands of domestic abusers? How do we close loopholes and make sure that the requirement in law that firearms are relinquished by domestic abusers is followed in practice? We have supported legislation that would better notify those victims of domestic violence when a perpetrator of domestic violence tries to buy a firearm. Survivors deserve to know when there are threats. We're working now to implement a lethality assessment program. It's one we're doing across Colorado. It's an evidence-based tool. So law enforcement can better evaluate what threats exist and can connect survivors to those who can provide critical support services like the Rose Andom Center. We're working on how do we improve law enforcement training. We know that for law enforcement, domestic violence is among the most dangerous and difficult situations they confront, and we're working to train law enforcement with better evidence, better assessment tools, and more of a trauma-informed perspective so that victims of crimes and survivors can be supported. We need to work better with our court system to make sure that when families, and particularly young kids, are affected, they are able to support them and to provide services to both survivors and children affected by domestic violence. As your Attorney General, I will continue to bring a fervent commitment to how we save lives, to how we stand with those whose lives have been shattered, and how we make a chance to do better out of every life that's lost. All of us need to ask how we do our part, This walk is a reminder about the importance of this work, about how we can save lives, protect our kids, and can help every Coloradan live from fear. Together, we honor the memories of those who were lost. We're very fortunate in Denver to be led by a Mayor, Mike Johnston, whose commitment to this is steadfast. It is quite literally his wife's life work. Chief of the Domestic Violence Section in our Denver DA's office, and the chair of the Rosanda Board. Mike brings extraordinary intellect, compassion, and problem solving to all he does. It's an honor to work with him, and I will now turn the mic over to Mayor Mike Johnston.
Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all the folks who joined the march this morning. I just want to say a couple of words before giving it over to John Walsh, also talk about the work. Like many parents, I, this Sunday, had the conversation you have with your 13-year-old daughter when she's preparing to ride public transit on her own for the first time. And I walked her through how you keep an eye out for folks who you might not know, or folks who might be strangers, or people who might not be well, as a way to prepare her. And as kids, as people growing up, you get used to or expect somehow preparing to protect yourself from violence from strangers. That's something that from when you're little, people tell you about. What no one ever expects is to prepare yourself to protect yourself from violence against people that you know and love and see every single day. If you're not safe from the person who sleeps with you in your bed every single night, who is one of the closest people to you in your world, how can you expect to feel safe anywhere? And I think what this is about is that in those moments where the people you trust the most or meant to love the most are the most cruel, who do you turn to? Because in those moments it is easiest to feel alone. It's easiest to feel unseen. It's easiest to feel unheard. What this day is about, what this month is about, is us sending the message to every single person right now who feels alone, who doesn't know who to trust, who doesn't know who to turn to, that what MILCK said is the most powerful thing of all. I won't keep quiet, because I don't deserve this, I don't need to endure this, and I will not do it alone. That you know that you have an entire community of survivors here to support you. You have entire groups of leaders like Roseanne, the Andom Center, ready to welcome you and support you. You have a district attorney's office. You have 2,000 police officers who will show up and stay there and provide you whatever support and services you need to find a place where you feel safe. That is the commitment we make today, is that in this city we won't stay quiet, we won't leave people to suffer alone, and we won't force you to try to find a way to pull your life back together without the rest of us. If we can all commit to that, I think we raise the opportunity that people raise their voices early. We set an expectation that no one should ever need to endure this or survive it, and that as soon as you see it or suspect it or worry about it, you shouldn't keep quiet, because there is a whole community here to carry you and to support you and to sustain you. That is what today is about, and that is what we want this city to commit to every single day. So thank you all so much for being a part of this. Thank you for raising your voice, and thank you for providing supports for those who have the courage to come to you on their hardest of days. I want to introduce my partner here in the city, who is working every single day to make sure that every Denver resident feels safe on the streets, in public parks, and in their own homes. And that means not just focusing on public safety where we see it in its most visible forms, but where we experience it, and sometimes its most deadly forms inside our own homes in the fight to stop domestic violence. Please welcome to the stage our District Attorney John Walsh.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Johnston and Attorney General Weiser, for your remarks. But can we have another round of applause for MILCK? Sometimes the violence You know, it's inspiring me to see so many people gathered together on a hot October day to really focus on rededicating ourselves to combating domestic violence. And you know, we have so much work to do. Even as crime has dropped in our city, in some ways dramatically, domestic violence has proven stubborn. Cases have continued to rise, and that includes domestic violence homicides. We have to rededicate ourselves to addressing these issues. And why this is, we don't truly know, but what we do know is that we have to respond. And that means responding by supporting the survivors of domestic violence, by giving them hope, by doing everything we can to prevent domestic violence, and also, and this is very important, by ensuring that we hold domestic violence offenders accountable for their crimes. Now, we're so fortunate here in Denver to have such an incredible community and so many partners working together, whether it's the Rose Andom Center, sort of a lighthouse of hope and possibility for the survivors of domestic violence, Project Safeguard, the Denver Child Advocacy Center, and a committed group of detectives and officers at the Denver Police Department focused on domestic violence and combating it. And I will tell you that we in the Denver DA's office will do our part and are doing our part already. Just this past spring, we moved additional resources to domestic violence prosecution in response to this increase in cases, and also because we wanted a group of people who were going to focus their attentions 100% on these issues. That meant creating a domestic violence unit in the office, led by Courtney Johnston, Amelia Sapp, people like Danielle Robinson and Victoria Kelly, and our firearm relinquishment investigator, Matthew Testa, who actually every day is focused on doing exactly what Attorney General Weiser talked about, making sure that domestic violence offenders can't keep their guns, because we all know what that leads to. Now, they say that you can tell the survivor of domestic violence by the courage that they bring to every part of their lives. And I just want us all to realize that it is our job, all of us, to lift up that courage, to support that courage, to give domestic violence survivors hope, and also to ensure that we are spreading that hope and that courage like MILCK far and wide all across the entire city, the state of Colorado, and the United States and beyond. So thank you all for being here. You have my promise and commitment from the Denver DA's office that we will be with you always in this fight. And now it's my great honor to introduce a truly extraordinary leader and partner in this effort, our Denver Police Chief, Ron Thomas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Good morning. You know, what an honor it is for me to be here once again to celebrate Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And you know, there's so many things I think to pass around, but I think the one in particular that I want to express at this moment is to MILCK, for not just sharing a beautiful song, but a powerful message and just her story of survival. And so I think I was moved. I'm sure many of you were moved as well. So thank you. Once again, I want to say the Denver Police Department remains committed to helping survivors of domestic violence. I'm proud of our dedicated team, many of whom are here strategically placed in the shade, who investigate intimate partner violence and bring abusers to justice, as well as all of our advocates who assist survivors along their journey to safety. It's also so it's important to name that we have these resources because you matter. Survivors matter, and we want you to be safe. It's also important to clarify that we don't ask about immigration status. If you're in a violent situation at home, if you're in a violent situation at home, your immigration status should not be a barrier to you calling for help. And if you don't feel comfortable calling us, the Denver Police Department, please reach out to the Rose Andom Center or to one of their many partners to help, because no one deserves to be hurt regardless of their relationship status or their immigration status. So now at this time I'd like to, thank you. At this time I'd like to introduce one of our fantastic partners, and that is Jody from Project Safeguard. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Thomas, for the introduction and for all Denver PD does in response to domestic violence in our community. Good morning, I'm Jody Curl, Director with Project Safeguard. For over 40 years, Project Safeguard has supported and empowered survivors by providing free civil legal advocacy and attorney services to individuals who experience gender-based violence. Our advocates assist with civil protection order filings, safety planning, court support, resource navigation, and emotional support. Our Attorney Services Program provides legal advice in matters related to civil protection orders and complex domestic relation cases, offering consultation, preparation, and in some cases, full representation. Project Safeguard's Lawyers for Victim programs allows victim survivors to have an attorney to represent them in a permanent protection order hearing. Individuals who have representation are 80% more likely to have their protection order granted. Project Safeguard holds monthly divorce and custody clinics, offered both in English and Spanish. Our staff and volunteer attorneys provide education on completing the paperwork, along with the process of how to file for divorce or custody. While I'm extremely proud of our team, they're over there, Project Safeguard fully recognizes that we do not do this work alone. I want to thank our partners for being here today, for standing together in courage and compassion as we shine a light on the kind of harm that often lives in the shadows. But today, we are here to honor survivors and victims, not just for surviving, but for their strength, resilience, and voice. We offer gratitude to all our organizations who work collectively to provide life-saving support and services. Collectively, we must challenge systems that fail survivors. We must create safe spaces where all victim survivors can come forward without fear. And right now, we must continue to keep funding these critical work across sectors and systems, because safety should not depend on one's luck, privilege, money, or location. To anyone here today who has experienced abuse, please know you are not alone. You are seen, you are valued, and you deserve to be safe. There is a community around you that is ready to walk by your side and support you on your path to justice and healing. Let us leave here with a renewed commitment, because change doesn't happen by chance. It happens because people like you and me refuse to look away. Thank you again for being here today and for standing with victim survivors. It is now my pleasure to welcome Hollie Reinhart with Denver Children's Advocacy Center.
Good morning. I'm honored to be here this morning, speaking to you all, representing both the Andom Center as a board member, but additionally in my role as the Director of Rapid Response at the Denver Children's Advocacy Center. And at the Denver Children's Advocacy Center, the work that we do for survivors, for victims, and for children is through the lens of a child. Because when domestic violence occurs, it doesn't just affect the adult survivor. It touches every corner of the family system. And I've sat with children who carry that invisible weight, who think the abuse is their fault, who struggle to trust adults, who worry about the safety of their parents, because domestic violence shapes their sense of security, their ability to focus in school, and even how they learn to love. But what gives me hope is that when we support survivors, we also support children, because every safe parent helps create a safe child. When parents find access to safety, stability, and healing, their children do too. And our partnership matters. The Andom Center supports the Denver Children's Advocacy Center and our efforts to wrap around children and families. We do this with healing. When children have witnessed violence in their home, they can access free therapy with us to begin to process what they have seen. We do this with prevention. We work with children, youths, teenagers, trying to prevent future violence by educating them on safe boundaries and how to develop healthy relationships. And we do this with justice. When a crime is committed in front of a child, they can access forensic interviews at our organization, where their voice can then be heard in courtrooms, in front of juries and judges, so that they can contribute to that pursuit of justice. The way that we do this work is reflected in the values of the Rose Andom Center. We do this with collaboration. It's at the heart of everything we do. There's a lot of partners here today, and we know we can't do this together. We have to do this work together. We do this with integrity. We're transparent and accountable in the work that we do with families so that they can trust the services that they're receiving. We do this with inclusivity. We honor every survivor's lived experience and background. We do this with hope. As a community, we build pathways to safety and healing. And we do this with advocacy. Our work goes beyond just one agency, and we work together to change systems so that they're more just. Our work matters. Every child deserves a safe home. Parents deserve to raise their children in peace, with peace and dignity. And as a community, when we protect survivors, when we invest in children, we invest in the foundation that helps create a safer and stronger Denver. So today, especially today as we begin Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I invite us to keep seeing the children. And remember, behind every survivor, there may be a child who's listening, who's learning, and looking to build their security of safety and how to love. So together, the Rose Andom Center, the Denver Children's Advocacy Center, and all of our other partners and community present here today, we make sure that children and survivors, their voices are filled with resilience, healing, and hope. I'll invite Whitney back up to the podium here to wrap us up and move us along.
Thank you. I want to thank all of our partners for being here today and for the survivors who joined us on our walk. The Rose Andom Center is proud to walk with you today and for as many steps as it takes on your journey of healing, hope, and justice. None of us ever want to think that we'll be in this position, and that day ever comes, you're not alone. In a show of solidarity, Denver will be turning the City and County Building, Ball Arena, McNichols Building, and the Denver Performing Arts Complex purple starting this evening, and to continue to highlight the importance of domestic violence awareness. I know it's hot. It's so hot. So you are all free to go. But as you leave, please be careful. The police escort has concluded. The streets are no longer closed, so please be safe. And if our speakers could please join me up here for one last photo. Thank you.